Hello, welcome to When Wrestlers Act. I'm John Cronshaw, and I'm back once again with the Colin. How you doing?
Hello, John.
How are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you. and your good self.
Yeah, I'm not bad. I'm not bad. Are you drinking anything fun and exciting?
Decaffeinated tea.
Ooh, I'm drinking beer.
What sort of beer are you drinking?
I've no idea. I got a random box of craft beers that I took advantage of some gimmick where you pay $2.99 postage and get 8 beers. So I'm taking advantage of that and enjoying the beers.
Excellent. I do that with razor blades these days. There's tons of them out there, and they're all, subscribed, get an excellent stubble-free shave and have lots of blades and some aftershave for a $5 or something.
We should be using those affiliate codes or whatever like they do on every other fucking podcast. So,
I mean, we could say that this podcast is brought to us by something or other.
Yeah, it definitely is.
Yeah. I mean, by whom, I don't know, but we digress.
Yeah. We've just watched Repossessed from 1990. This is a movie starring Jesse Ventura and Mean Gene Okerlund. It was an interesting one. It was basically a parody of The Exorcist.
Leslie Nielsen is in it as well. One of my favourite things about this film is they actually got Linda Blair to parody herself in The Exorcist.
Have you watched this film before?
Yeah, loved it when I was a kid.
Yeah, same here. I watched this when I was younger, probably when it first came out on video. When the soundtrack hit, that Repossessed song, that was just like, that really took me back. I thought, oh wow, this is going to be great.
It wasn't, was it, John?
My nostalgia was thrown deep into the depths of massive slurry pit, I suppose you'd call it. Yeah. What are those toilets called when you've got a massive septic tank? There we go.
Yes. I found the opening scene quite disturbing. It was obviously it was a wig or something, but seeing Leslie Nielsen with dark hair, that ain't right. He looked wrong.
The opening scene was set in the 1970s, so it was 1973, and it was basically at the scene of the original exorcism, and Father May was there doing all the exorcism stuff, and the demon was being cast out of the girl's body.
What I wrote here as well, Father May, surely that can't lead to any puns.
I don't see how that's relevant, and don't call me Shirley. Sorry.
For the first Father May joke, 27 minutes and 40 seconds into the film. So why did they give him such a stupid name for one joke that was a third of the way through?
Maybe it was so you'd forget and think, oh, well, they're not going to go there because, it's quite obvious.
Well, one good thing about that opening music that you that took you back was it was riddled with orchestral hits.
It was filth. It was absolute filth. It was dirty.
And speaking of filth, moving, that's a very nice segue to that opening scene where Father May is cutting his lecture on this class of Catholic students, and then some woman, for no reason, trying to be saucy, gets her tits out, and it wasn't funny, it wasn't saucy, it was just there. And I thought, why have you done that? What does it add to the film?
What does it add to the film? It adds to the fact that, you remember when we watched this and we were about 11 or 12?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
That's what it was. Like, I thought, oh, this is, yeah, I have fond memories of this. No, I think that's it. I think, yeah, you've got the woman in the front row messing with her stockings, showing her thighs, and the priest goes, can you pull your dress down? And she whaps out her tits.
Does.
And that's it.
It's a bit puerile.
It's just crap. It's like...
It is crap. I mean...
Like, it's not sexy or anything. It's just like... Oh,
it really isn't. And it wasn't very funny.
That is a theme that will keep coming back in this film. Is like, I think there was maybe one point where I actually laughed in this film.
I think I laughed at Brideshead Revisited.
Yes. Okay. Yes.
And Dr. Finger reports a proctology.
Okay. No, I didn't laugh at that one. Yeah. Brideshead. That was good. Yeah. There was that. And then there was a line with Jesse Ventura and Mean Gene where he says, There's no more steroids in wrestling.
Yes, I wrote that, and
There's no less either. So that's it. That's the highlights, guys. So
yeah. Shall we end it there and get the stool chat out right now?
Just wrap it up. 2 jokes. That's it.
Those are the only bits that stood out for me. Moving on, woman gets now all grown up, gets possessed by the devil. So, some might say repossessed.
And the devil comes out of the telly. She's got a family. She's got 2 kids. There's lots of jokes about her having PMS when she's possessed by the devil.
Yeah. And she has a charming husband as well.
And we see this evangelical couple on a telly called Ernest and Fanny, and they've got a dog called Fufu.
The guy who was Ernest was in Deliverance. He's the one who gets raped by the hillbillies.
To the point where her head turns and she vomits over her husband. And then she goes to the doctors, and the doctors think that she has the flu.
Well, he's had a couple of cases coming in, and there's a person in the background walking around with 2 cases marked flu.
I didn't spot that.
Yeah, this film, being I don't know if it's Zucker Abraham's Zucker film like Airplane or Naked Gun, but it just doesn't have the same charm or the same spontaneity as those films. It was when it had the people going, and they all had those silly German beards, including a woman.
Yeah.
And then they said they're stumped, and they were all clapping and saying, "Oh, good answer." I just thought, you're really trying too hard at this point now.
Yeah. And they had the joke of the things that are shaped like the wheelchair symbols parked in disabled bays.
Yes.
And then you had the thing of someone getting a blowjob in a lift and them going, "Are you getting off?" And he gives a, "Wouldn't you like to know?" kind of face. So we get the church, which is called Our Lady of the Evening. And
is there a joke in? Oh, yeah, like a prostitute, I guess.
Yeah, like a Lady of the Night kind of thing. Yeah, so
okay.
Nancy goes in to speak to a priest, and he goes, "Oh, you have to leave a note." And so there's the joke of she leaves a note, and it's got your name written on it.
Continue.
This is when she arrives home and her family are playing Ouija board, or is it like a toy car goes flying?
Yeah, and lands in the fish tank.
And so the priest arrives and he comes to examine her, and he doesn't believe her. He's very skeptical, and she shows him a papal seal of possession, and then she tries to hump the priest.
Have you ever actually seen The Exorcist?
Years ago, yeah.
It's not very good. I still found it to be funnier than this film.
So the priest basically ties her to the bed, and even though he's seen the papal seal, he still needs proof, and he gets it because she starts vomiting and doing all crazy stuff and making all the room go funny.
I think husband makes some sort of joke of tying her down to the bed, but they only usually do that when the kids are away. Ha 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 ha. Bondage.
Saying it's PMS again. Father Luke, he gets his answer. He knows that the exorcism thing is necessary, so he goes to seek out Father May I.
It's that point we get the Father May I pun, which is, yes, you may. Yeah. And the whole film has been building up to that, I feel.
He visits him in a home for, I think it said former exorcists and actors or something. He goes up to see him after having a bit of a run-in with a nun, and there's a kind of Star Wars-ish music playing. And then Mark Hamill, I think, makes an appearance for a second in one cut.
Did he? And I didn't notice that. He probably needed the money at that point.
So there's all the Luke, because his name's Luke, Father Luke,
I get it.
Use the faith instead of force. So it was playing on a Star Wars thing. It was really cringy, really badly done. Really badly done, actually.
It was, wasn't it?
Terrible.
Yeah, what happens is he goes and talks to the board of priests to convince them that an exorcism is necessary. And they've got Ernest and Fanny and Fufu. And Ernest and Fanny, being horrible televangelists that they are, decide that they can get tons of people watching this. So they say, "Oh, let's televise it." But we find out just before that they're in some sort of dire straits. We get hints as well that, okay, that guy might be a nonce as well. So yes.
Yeah, with all sorts of...
Some sort of boy scandal, wasn't it?
Yeah. So there was some stupid montage stuff where we see the possession, and then we get, this is the bit probably as well where you had fond memories of this as a teenager.
Oh, when he goes to the gym. Father May I, after being told by Father Luke what's going to happen, he decides to come out of retirement and makes himself fit. So he goes to this gym, and there are boobies everywhere, including one woman on that thing that you do where you put your arms out to the side and bring them forward, and so you can
build your pecs.
So you can do your pecs and your tecs and whatever other muscles that you can do. It's pumping her boobies up.
Yeah, and it's making the father very giddy. And then there's some very crude gay jokes. Just like the perving on the women in spandex. This thing went on for ages.
Good 10 minutes. And when you bear in mind that the film is 80 minutes minus 5 minutes for credits.
A significant portion of this film was dedicated to just stupid gym humour.
None of it was funny.
No, we've already said there was 2 jokes in this that were funny.
Oh, yeah. I mean, none of this bit was funny.
Okay.
There was one part where the gym instructor falls between the legs of the overly gay Gaiman, and Gaiman makes a flirtatious remark, and the gym instructor says, "Check, please."
That did happen.
It did happen.
That did happen. That was there. I thought that was a line that people did in, kind of taking the piss out of bad comedies. But it was there.
Yeah.
It was really.
Oy vey.
Indeed. After the gym montage stuff, perving on women, one of the women's boobs explodes.
And then there's the scene of Father Mayer going to the women's changing rooms because he's left his glasses somewhere. He's fondling round a locker and comes out holding bra and knickers, saying someone's got a problem. And the gym instructor says, "Yeah, you." And then someone gives him his glasses and he's horrified. Ha 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 ha.
What we got as well was the realization by Father May that it was him that Satan was after and not the girl. That was an important point for the story. So they're in the TV studio for the exorcism.
Hooray! We're getting somewhere now.
Yeah.
At this point, still thinking that she's some sort of nut job and they're using her for the sake of ratings. And then for some reason there's a telethon type thing where they're collecting money and it's going up and up and up. And then at one point it goes down when she's singing and he reveals that it's the most watched program in TV history.
Yeah, because Satan wants the ratings, baby. So
it's all about the ratings, and then at that point Satan is satisfied and does away with them by turning them into calls them a pair of jackasses, so turns them into a pantomime horse. Seems reasonable.
The priest realises that Satan's after ratings, so he kills the feed. It's a bit like what's that film we watched where they kill the feed? The Running Man. There we go.
The Running Man. Yes. Yeah. That was a good film. Can we watch that again? And that's got Jesse the Body in it as well.
Yeah. So
speaking of Jesse the Body, him and Mean Gene.
So they make a joke about heading to Disneyland because, that's where you're going to get another bunch of stupid people. The Satan summons like some crazy dark power, and Luke goads Satan into having a rematch with Father May. And then this is where it's like you get Mean Gene and Jesse the Body basically acting as wrestling commentators for the fight.
And if I can be honest, John, I think that they completely rescued the situation because they actually added to this film, which doesn't take much, but they actually really did add something to it. The film was shit, but we'll come to the review later. Jesse the Body showing what a great commentator he was. Mean Gene just being Mean Gene, a twat with a microphone, and that's his charm.
Yeah.
But Jesse being all heelish as well.
And then there's a Rocky kind of montage thing, but instead of punching a big bit of beef, he's punching a chicken.
Yeah.
Then he starts doing all the, whatever they're called, the crosses, doing a cross over your chest and the different actions that a priest would do and it's all speeded up and it's really fast and it's hilarious.
The sad part is, John, one day we did feel that this was hilarious.
It was the early 90s. Things were different then.
What's the early 90s? Because there's one bit where the devil woman parodies Batman, because she says, in the same way as the Joker, wait until they get a load of me, which is a line that Jack Nicholson made famous in Batman. There was one really funny bit, actually. It did genuinely make me laugh, because I have seen The Exorcist, and there's this one part where the devil woman is getting the priest, she's grabbing his head and putting it between her legs and saying, "Lick me." So she's saying that, and then sort of disguising herself as an ice cream, and then Mean Gene says it's the Congalingus move.
Yeah.
All right, that bit wasn't too funny, but the lick me bit was, because, as I say, it's so bad in The Exorcist that they had to bring it up.
This is a point as well where they have a bit of a weird transferring the possession from the priest to the girl, and they make some jokes about some transvestites in a Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
And then they transfer back. They go, "Oh, we've tried everything. We've tried sex. We've tried drugs. We've tried rock and roll." They go, "Oh, we haven't tried rock and roll." And then Satan reveals that she doesn't like rock and roll. And they go, "Ha ha ha." And so they do some rock and roll.
It's not a very good song. Oh, it's called Devil with a Blue Dress. Blue dress, devil with a blue dress on. You know, they parody all sorts of rock and roll and, for some reason, Robert Palmer.
Yeah.
Proud Yorkshireman, Robert Palmer.
Is he? Didn't know that.
Yeah, he was from Batley. I know. When I was watching the film yesterday, I was Googling him, and I had no idea he's from Batley. He's a proud Yorkshireman, or he was anyway.
Yeah, that's amazing. I don't know why I like that so much, but yeah, that's great.
Now he's dead.
2016?
I think 2016 minus quite a few years as well. The rock and roll takes care of the devil, and there's a bit of an "I'll be back," and then the film comes to an end.
There's a bit of a epilogue, I suppose, where Nancy's cued and she goes to the seminary school.
Oh, yeah, you're right, actually.
And because there was a geeky lad who kind of made snarky comments, and so they both vomit on him, and that's the end of the film.
Because he says, "Do you really expect us to believe this bullshit?" And then they both decide, rather than saying, "Well, yeah," they vomit on him instead.
Can I interrupt you a second?
Please do.
Will you get the stool chart, please?
I've already got it. I'm using my stool chart mug.
Oh.
Now, what are your thoughts on the stool chart?
Which is the one where it's just really, really, really forced? Is that number one?
That's number one, and that's my exact thought as well. This film is one of the most constipated films I've ever seen.
It wasn't funny.
They put in too many jokes, and too many jokes that weren't funny.
And it wasn't just that they had the jokes, it was like the jokes were really telegraphed. The setup for them was just too on the nose and too in your face, and just, it was horrible. Horrible.
And they were trying for satire at times as well, and it didn't work.
Yeah, and a lot of the contemporary references just straight out of my head. So.
But Mean Gene and Jesse were very good in this film. All right, they were doing what their day job was, but they did their day job very well, and they were good in the film.
Yeah, and as you say, they actually added something to the film.
They really did.
They did not detract. They actually brought it up, probably half a star on a 10-star scale. So, half-star film, definitely.
But I think I completely agree with you that this is a 1 on the stool chart. This is a very, very constipated film. This is a film that forces so much and little droplets come out. It's rabbit poo. That's what this film is. It is rabbit droppings.
See, I wouldn't even give it that much credit. I would give it the backed up for days and nothing's coming out and you need a broom to get up there and just, really try and get the stuff out. But, he keeps training and it's just nothing coming.
Apart from maybe 1 or 2 little raisins.
No, I don't even think that.
Something's got to come, John, because there were at least 2 genuinely funny moments.
Okay, you get 2 farts.
You get 2 farts and a raisin. How's that? This film is 2 farts and a raisin. We've got a new rating system. On the stool chart, 2 farts and a raisin.
What kind of farts?
Eggy farts.
No. I think it'll be like big strain, like 10 minutes of straining to get like a little. That's it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you've like burst a blood vessel in your eye or something.
And you have a little bit of a prolapse as well.
That's having it too much.
Just a little bit.
Oh God!
So this film, John, it wasn't good.
No, it was not good.
And I'm scared. No, I'll tell you what. I did recently watch a clip from Airplane, and I just think if the rest of the film is as good as the clip that I watched, then it's genius. It was the scene in the nightclub with the staying alive. That's one of the greatest scenes in any film.
Airplane still stands up. Really does.
What about Naked Gun?
I don't think that one stands up as well, but I still think there's some good stuff in it.
Why do we do this to ourselves?
I don't know. Because, we watch this shit, so that's why we do it, Colin. Did you happen to see on the When Wrestlers Act Twitter that Cody Knotts had got in touch with us?
No, I did not.
Yeah, he enjoyed the review.
Excellent.
Yeah, so that was good. I'm glad he took it in the humour that it's meant. So
yes, I will. I'll have a look at that as soon as I decide to. So, anything else new, John? Anything else that you'd like to discuss?
Nope. I mean, you can check out my anime podcast, Otaku on Writing. We've been looking at Vampire Hunter D over the last couple of weeks. So that's been a pretty good one. And yeah, now we've done some cool stuff. We released our collection of short stories based on Street Fighter 2, the animated movie, last week as well. So that was good.
Have you got any books coming out soon?
Yep, always.
Cool. So. Have you written more books than you've read?
It's getting there.
Fair enough.
I'm doing a book a month now, so about 2 if you include the short story collection things.
Prolific, yes. Like Barbara Cartland.
Like Barbara Streisand, but without the nose.
I don't know. Yours is pretty big.
Have you seen Barbara Streisand?
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I always sound snarky and sarcastic, and I don't mean to. It's just because I'm Mancunian. Would you like to thank our Patreons?
Yeah, thank you. Again, yeah, thank you.
If we have any.
If we have any, which we don't, so yeah.
I'm sure we will have at one point, and they will listen to this.
They'll get this bonus footage of us slagging off our non-existent patrons.
Yeah.
Non-existent bastards. Grumble, grumble.
So should people follow us at WWA Podcast on the Twitter?
No, don't do it.
Okay, that's fine. I'll leave it to their conscience.
So they probably won't. Right, well, thanks again. So until next time, cheerio.
Farewell.